All right, welcome back, guys. This is another video recording. This time it is for Unit 8. This will cover for the red day we have coming this week. So make sure you watch the video all the way through in order to get credit for the attendance. Right, so this particular topic is about, have you ever been to South Africa? Or it could be to another country. It just so happened that this title is South Africa. So here are some representation of South Africa here, as well as a map of where the location is, if you don't know where it is. Okay, so this is it's going to be two parts, A and B. I will do both in one video because some of you will have the A class and some of you will have the B class. So I thought I would just make one video to cover both 8A and 8B. So here we go, guys. Right, as usual, the beginning of every unit, we have some objectives here to help you understand the unit better and how to use the English associated with this unit. We're going to talk about past vacation, meaning vacation that you have already been to, you already went and come back. We're going to talk about things you can do in different places. It could be within Korea, or it could be outside of Korea. And we're going to use some past time expressions as well to talk about things we have done in the past. Right. Again, over here, talking about other countries and things we can do in South Korea and how can we express them past some possibility as well. Okay, so as a warm up, which we usually do in class, we're going to practice the 5 questions that are posted on Moodles for activity 11. As always, please make sure you write these questions in your book. As you know, I will check them every week when you come to school, right? So make sure that you understand the question, how to answer it, but also, as I mentioned in the class, for the final exam, you are going to need to ask 3 follow-up questions to each question here, right? Again, you may get a random question just like in the midterm. The difference is in the midterm, we had the original question plus 2 follow-ups. For the final exam, you will have 1 original question plus 3 follow-ups question to ask your partner, okay? The speaking time is still the same, 2 minutes, so which means you have to speak faster this time around compared to the midterm, okay? So here's an example as a warm up, right? So again, be sure to ask 3 follow-up questions, okay? So, um, right, for this, we're going to talk for 5 minutes in class, but for the video purpose, just practice on your own, okay? Right, as usual, be sure that you understand the model conversation for every unit. As you know, I will use that for your quiz, right? So within the conversation, there are a lot of words that comes from your vocabulary list that's in your book. Okay, so again, read this, understand what William and May is talking about. If you have questions, you can ask me during class time. You can come to my office. As I always mention, you're always welcome to come to my office so we can sit down and have a chat, talk about the homework or talk about anything in general that you want to talk. You know, something you have something on your mind just to help you to practice English. Okay, right. Okay, so here's an example like I did for Unit 7, putting some information in here about yourself. So I'll play the audio and I will put in the answer choice here for you. Of course, in the classroom, you will practice conversation 1, conversation 2, and 3. And of course, conversation 4, you will put in your own ideas in here. Okay, so let's play this and I will help you fill in the missing information. Here we go, guys.
Unit 8, create your own dialogue. Have you ever been to another country?
Yes, I've been to Indonesia.
When did you go there?
I went there last semester break.
What did you eat there?
I ate fried rice.
That sounds great.
Right, so here's just an example according to the audio recording, right? So go through with your partner when you come back to class, and of course, follow the conversation here, right? And then, of course, for conversation 4, you can change to your own information about where did you go, what did you do, okay? All right, some quick grammar points for us to go over. Have you ever will be the kind of the key question for Unit 8. So in this case, it's asking about, have you ever been to another country, meaning outside of Korea, okay? Yeah, so again, we want to know about the experience that you've had, okay? So that is basically what you did in the past up until today, up until this point, not in the future, right? So we're talking about in the past, okay? So here's an example. You can say, yes, I have been to another country, or, yes, I have, just for short. But as you know, practice longer answers because that will help you on your speaking test, as you know now, okay? Or if you did not go, you can just say, no, I have never been to another country, or simply, no, I haven't, right? Okay, but be careful with the grammar on this point here. If you say, no, I have ever been to another country, which is not correct. The ever here is not correct, okay? Right, so kind of make sure you check your grammar as you speak. Okay, so present perfect for experiences. So again, this is kind of a review a bit from the previous units. So we're talking about past participle, and what does that mean? So let's have a look, okay? Have you ever took a vacation? The past participle is incorrect. You should say, have you ever taken a vacation? So as a a quick reminder, you have your simple form, your past tense, and your past participle here. In the back of your book, you can also find this grammar point as well for Unit 8, okay? Right, some things to keep in mind. So when you talk about the present perfect tense, you cannot use this tense when you are talking about some time expressions, right? We simply just talk about the experience and not so much the time. So here's an example. Okay, I have gone to an art gallery last summer. Again, we don't really want to know the exact time. Okay, so you should say something like, I went to an art gallery last summer. So the gone and the went. So again, make sure that you use the right verb tenses here. All right. So again, we have the past participle, right? Go, went, and gone. Right. Changing tenses, right? So here we're going to be asking about experiences in the present tense. We have plus a subject, plus the ever, and the past participle. So in this case, have you ever visited Japan? So if you have, you would say yes. If you have not, you would say I have not, right? In this case, the answer is yes, I have. So the yes answer here kind of basically changed to the past, right? Because it's asking you, have you ever visited, which is past already. You've done it already. So you say, yes, I have. Okay. And then if we are talking about the details, so now we're going to talk about the details in the past tense. Okay. So, and when or WH, right? Did you or something do something, right? When did you go to Japan? Okay. And in this case, I went to Japan last summer. So this is talking about the past tense. Visited, again, present tense. Okay. Here are some simple form followed by some simple past and past participle. So in this case, I write. The simple past would be I wrote. And the past participle would be I have written. Okay. So in this case, please get out your book. You can use the empty blank page on the blank page on page 81 in your book. And I would like for you to write this in your book. Okay. So I'll go slow so that you can have time to write. And if you need it, if you need time, you can pause this video, go grab your book, open to page 81, the notes section part, and you can write this in your book, okay? I will check this when you come back to class. Right, so the first one is write, wrote, have written. Okay, we have go. So I think you know the next one is went, yeah? And can you guess what this next one is? Is have something, okay? Go, went, have gone, right? This is from the previous slide. Go, went, gone. Okay, we have buy. I think you guys know the next simple past is bought. And have bought would be the past participle. Once again, guys, make sure you write all three of these in your book, okay? And you can use page 81. There's an empty page there. Okay, next we have lose. I lose, I lost, and I have lost would be the correct past participle here. Okay, I think the expression is easy. Do, did, and done, right? Again, I've, meaning I have. Okay, take, took, and taken, right? Be sure you know this part here because that would be part of your test for the final exam, okay? Drink, drank, and drunk. Okay, so all the way down, please again, write these in your book. See, saw, and seen, right? Forget, the simple past tense would be forgot, and the past participle would be forgotten, right? So as you can see here, get, forget, so this is most likely got and gotten, right? So these two are very similar. I think everybody can know about this one. Eat, ate, and eaten, right? Okay, so once again, make sure you write all three of these columns in your book. Again, you can use page 81 or wherever you want in the book, because I will check it when you come back to class. Right, if you have any questions about past participle, again, you can ask me during class time, or you can come to my office during my office hours, and we can have a chat and I can help you one-on-one, okay? All right, so when you do come back to class, we'll do some speaking as well. And let's have a look real fast here, okay? So with your partner, when you come back to class, we'll practice these, okay? So for instance, question, have you ever seen a Japanese movie? And maybe you have, or maybe you haven't, right? Yeah, and if you do have, you say, yes, I have. I saw it last week, last month, wherever, okay? Or you can say, no, I haven't, but I would like to see so-and-so movie. That is a Japanese movie, some title, okay? So again, kind of go through these, like take travel pictures, write a postcard, go backpacking, visit a famous palace. So again, you have a chance to practice these simple topics here with your partner when you come back to class, okay? And again, if you can, practice follow-up questions, right? Follow-up questions, quite important, yeah? Okay, some other examples here for you. Have you ever been to Seoul? And simply put, what can you do there, right? If you have, what can you do in Seoul? What are some things we can do as part of the objectives in the beginning page, right? Yeah, here's another example here. Have you ever been to Jeju-do? Excuse me, guys, my throat's a little tired today. And if you have, then what can you do there, right? For instance, you can hike Mount Halasan here, right? As an example, we can go horseback riding. There's so many things to do in Jeju Island, right? If you live in Daegu or are familiar with Daegu, there's a famous market called Somun Market here, right? So have you ever been there? And if you have, what foods can you eat there? Yeah, okay. Again, the have you ever is the key question for us to practice for Unit 8. Right, here's another example. Have you ever been to Paragon Mountain? And again, what can you see there besides the Buddha, statue of the Buddha? Are there anything else you can look at? How about the view, right? Things like that, okay? Right. Have you guys ever been to a K-pop concert? Yeah. And if you did, and did you have a good time? Right. So kind of talk about that. What did you do there? Right. And so forth. Okay. And right. So this is have you ever done something, been somewhere, do something, right? So next we have some time expressions for you. Okay. We're going to talk about for. This means the experience, the total time you have done something. Okay, for instance, I've been a teacher for 15 years in Korea, right? And then we also have since. Since meaning you started the experience, but you have not finished it yet. Okay, so as an example, I've lived in Korea since 2011, but I'm still here. So that means it has not been finished yet. See, so understand the for and the since for time expressions. Okay, so again, we have another one is yet. So this is experience that have not started yet, but you think you will do it soon. Okay, so as an example, I haven't eaten lunch yet today, meaning hasn't started yet, but I'm going to eat lunch soon because I'm quite hungry now. Okay, so for, since, and yet. Please learn these. This is also in the back of your book. Okay. Right, so here's an example to help you to use for, since, or yet. Okay, so for instance, how long have you lived in your hometown where you grew up, right? So again, we need to change the verb of the past participle. So you can say, I've lived in my hometown for 20 years, or since I was a child, or I'm still living there, right? I haven't moved yet, for instance. Okay. And again, study English, be awake, have your phone. Yeah. How long have you had your new iPhone? Okay. You can say, I've had my iPhone for 1 year, for example. Okay. I've had my phone since 2021, 22, whatever, right? Whatever, how many years you've had it for. Okay. And so forth. Okay. And perhaps you haven't bought a phone yet. But you are thinking about getting the newest phone, the latest iPhone. Okay. Yeah. Right. And here are some other examples. Have you visited Jeju Island? So again, if you have, you would say yes, right? And again, we don't really care about the when. We just want to know, did you or did you not visit Jeju? Or simply you can say, yes, I have, right? But the more information you give, the better it is to help your partner ask you follow-up questions, all right? So as a good follow-up questions to have you ever visit Jeju Island, you can say something like, when did you go? When did you go to Jeju, right? And simply put, you can say, I went on my semester break. Semester break, again, this expression or phrase, it's in your vocabulary list, okay? Yeah, and then another follow-up would be like, what did you do there? Okay, and I went sightseeing. So you can see the original question, a follow-up question, a follow-up question. As I mentioned earlier on the speaking test, you will have 3 follow-up questions, right? So when did you go? What did you do there? And a third follow-up could be, who did you go with, right? What did you enjoy? What was the most memorable part of your trip? You can make up the questions. And again, of course, it has to be related to visiting Jeju. Don't ask some random question, right? So listen to your partner's answer clearly so that you can ask the next follow-up. So for instance, here I went sightseeing. You can ask your partner, where did you go? What did you see? So that's related to sightseeing, okay? Right. So these are the yeses, or perhaps you didn't go. You've never been, right? So simply put, no, I haven't. Oh, yes, I have. But of course, we want more details, right? So if your partner says, no, I have never been to Jeju, how can you ask the next question? So you can ask something simply like, what places have you visited? Right? You told me you didn't go to Jeju. You say you've never been. So where did you go? Where have you visited? Right? And then your partner will say, I visited, Busan or wherever, right? And then you can continue the conversation now by asking follow-up questions, right? Okay. And then what did you do there? Right? Just like what happened here, right? And so on. And again, it's up to your partner, right? So again, listen carefully to your partner's answer so that you can ask the next follow-up question, okay? Right. So again, when you come back to class, we'll have a chance to practice speaking with your partner. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about past vacations next, right? And things that you can do during vacation. All right. Here we go, guys. For instance, what can you do in Paris? Here's a picture of the Eiffel Tower as an example. So of course you can see the Eiffel Tower, right? Okay. How about London? Has anybody visit London before? So here's a photo, and of course you can see Big Ben, right? So I would love to go to Egypt someday. So what can I do in Egypt? So here are examples here, right? The picture. You can visit the pyramids, right? Okay. Another example, what can you do in Cambodia? Maybe you are familiar with this photo. This is called Angkor Wat. Okay. And if you ever been to New York, you'll probably see this famous statue here, which is called the Statue of Liberty. Okay. Yes. Right. And let's talk about something close to town, close to where we are in Daegu, right? So what's there to do in Daegu, right? Or what can you do in Daegu? You just tell me, right? It can be any number of answers. Just an example here, you can go downtown to Dongtonglo and eat some traditional Korean food like samgyeopsal, or in English, pork belly, grilled pork belly, right? You can visit a temple and take some pictures as well. Okay, you can pretty much have your own idea as what we can do in Daegu, right? And try to try to give more information, right? So that way we can help your partner to ask follow-up questions. Right, so here's an example. You can ask your partner, what's there to do in your hometown, right? Or what can I do in Busan at Haeundae or something, or in Daegu, or if you live in Hayang, you can tell your friend, what can we do there? Okay, or maybe on Daegu campus or your hometown. Right? So simply put, you can so and so and so, right? And try to speak as long as you can, give as much detail. It will be very helpful for your partner to ask you follow-up questions. All right, guys. So some final words here. So we can talk about our past vacation using participle, right? Gone, eat, okay? Examples. I have been to Europe. I have flown in an airplane. So when we talk about vacations, we often describe the activities that we can do there. So as an example, go scuba diving, maybe dancing on the beach, have a party, right? Enjoy the beautiful views of the ocean and so forth, right? Okay. So yeah, enjoy your vacation for sure, right? Okay. All right, on the next slide, this is from page 75, okay? So before we do this activity, we need to figure out what these activities are, right? So when you do come back, you have a chance to work with your partner, but for now, we are going to write the information for these things here, okay? So verb like go to the library, maybe eat breakfast at 8 a.m., right? Maybe you're gonna see a movie at 11 p.m. and so forth and so forth. Here's grandma, maybe she's drinking coffee, I don't know, tea, right? Yeah, get to class, okay, and so forth and so forth, okay? Right. So in your book on page 75, write these information in. This is breakfast, right? Okay, eat breakfast. Breakfast is actually one word, not two words, okay? Yeah. So get your pencils out, write this in your book, okay? At 9 o'clock, go to class, okay? And then 1 p.m., go to the library, yeah? 4 p.m., maybe you want to visit grandma here in this case, right? 6 p.m., eat dinner. At 8, do some exercise, and this could be dancing, right? Dancing is a form of exercise. 9 p.m., go on a date, and finally at 11 p.m., go to the movies. So guys, everyone, write these answer in your book. I will check them when you come back to class, okay? This is part of your homework for this video. So write these in your book so that we can have a conversation with our partners when we come back to class, all right? Okay, so again, these are written for you here once again, just makes it more clear. And has Leslie eaten breakfast today? Has Leslie past participle? Eaten, right? Gone to class, gone to the library, visited her grandma, right? Eaten dinner. If you really want to use that, you can, right? You just change this breakfast to dinner, to go to the library and so forth, okay? So in this case, the question is, has Leslie, the past participle, which is eaten breakfast? So 8 o'clock. Yes, she has eaten breakfast. She ate breakfast at that, not breakfast, dinner, right? 6 p.m. Here will be 8 p.m. Okay, right. Or no, she hasn't, right? Okay, all right. Here are some other examples. Make sure you write these answer in your book. Right? Go jogging, take a shower, go shopping, eat lunch, go for a drive, take pictures, have a barbecue. Have a barbecue, as you remember, is from Unit 7, right? Have a barbecue, have a cookout, right? And then drink beer. Okay, here's another example of Jordan. right? Has Jordan taken a bath? Well, here's bath, take a shower. So yes, he took it at 7 a.m. Okay. All right, guys, on page 78, you need to write, sorry, page 76, okay? You need to write your own answers in the book here about yourself. Have you ever been to another country? You can say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Right? If you do, tell us where you're going, right? Don't copy these examples here. I want you to write your own answers here, okay? So as you can see, this is the original question. These are pretty much follow-up questions here, okay? So this is a great example of how to use follow-up questions to the original questions here, right? Now, what if your partner or what if you have never been to another country? It will be very difficult for you to write the answer to these because you've never been, right? So in that case, you can change this to like, if you had a chance to go, where would you go, right? Where would you go? Who would you go with? Where would you stay? What would you do there? What kind of food would you eat? And would you buy any souvenirs, right? So you can change it if you've never been to another country, okay? Right. So again, when you do come back to class, please try to ask your partner 3 follow-ups. Pretty much number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all follow-up questions to the original question up here, right? Okay, yeah. So 3 follow-ups is what you need for your speaking final exam tests, all right? Okay, so here is an example of interviewing your partner on page 76, okay? So have you ever been to another country? Right, so, or you can say, maybe it's just Seoul, Busan, another country or somewhere. And you can change this to your choice to ask your partner, okay? And again, how long did you go there and so forth, right? Okay. So here's an example of a teacher. He been to Sando and Hongdo, okay? And how long was he there? For 4 days and 3 nights. Okay, who did you go with? He went by himself, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay, so you're gonna interview your partner with for this particular page here, but that's just an example for me to show you how to answer. Okay, all right, guys, moving on, talking about vacation now. So we're going to use the vocabulary to talk about things we've done on vacation. So here's a no, here's a yes. As an example, have you ever been to the zoo in Seoul? And if you have, you can say yes or no, right? So no, I haven't, but I've been to the palace in Seoul. Okay, yeah. And here's another example. Have you ever lost your passport? So in this example, the answer is yes, right? I lost it when I bought a postcard, right? As an example, okay? Right, so what do you guys think this picture is, guys? Anybody know what this picture is? Okay, so this is about a tour. Have you ever taken a tour? Or have you ever bought a tour package, right? Or a package tour to go somewhere with your friends or family? In this case, we have a yes. So always book a package tour, right? You all these people so happy on the bus, right? Okay, let's look at another one here. This is about taxi, and the keyword is ripped off. Okay, you guys know what ripped off means? Let's figure that out. Okay, so for this particular person, yes, I have been ripped off by a taxi driver. Actually, for me, when I was in Hanoi in Vietnam, I actually was ripped off by a taxi driver as well. He did not turn on the meter. So we had an argument when we arrived at the airport. All right, so be careful when you travel, okay? So taxi, sometimes we call it a cab. And ripped off in this case basically means someone steals something from you or cheat you out of some money and so forth. Okay. Okay. Here's another example. Have you ever taken the metro? Okay. So the metro is basically a subway or underground tube in London. They call it the tube. Okay. Where do you usually stay when you travel? So here are three examples. The first one, as you can imagine, is hotel. This is in Las Vegas. Okay. Here's the motel. And can you guess what this is from your vocabulary list? This you can stay with many friends together in one room. So that would be hostel. Okay. Yeah. So where do you usually stay when you travel? Okay, here's another example. So can you guess what this is? This and this, right? Camping, you probably know camping, right? This is the bed and breakfast or B&B. B&B, you might have heard of B&B, right? So the bed and breakfast is a kind of a hotel type where they actually serve breakfast to you in the morning, all right? Okay, so let's talk about traveling. Do you bring a lot of luggage with you when you travel? Okay, so luggage or baggage, or do you travel light? Travel light is part of your vocabulary list of phrases and expression. Okay, all right. Here's some other examples for us to look at over here as well, right? Have you ever plus the verb. So again, past participle of write, written, gone, done, played, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay. Yeah. And you can start by saying, have you ever gotten drunk? Or have you ever driven a Mercedes, Benz? I don't know. Okay. You can practice that with your partner, right? So get, past participle, has gotten, right? Maybe you drive too fast, you got a speeding ticket, or you got a love letter from someone, or maybe you got really, really sick one day, right? So either yes or no, very simply. And again, ask one follow-up question to kind of practice and keep the conversation going. Okay. All right, guys, that's the first half of part 8A. Okay, I will post another video for 8B. But for now, that will be the end of 8A.